Alright. Hello out there. Andy. You can call me Andy, whatever. I was watching video last night, a Zach Hubbard video about this new autonomous city going on in Seattle, and I had a very similar point of view that he had. And I learned this by listening to guys talk at work, like, "Oh, Andy, this would be a perfect place for you." And all I can say is that if this is going on, that I hope people out there are doing it morally and aren't falling into the deceptions and psyops, psychological operations that are probably involved with it, because, that's not what they want. That's not what the controllers of the world want. They don't want people to understand that they can do these types of things and live free, cohesively, without any problems. So, I don't see this going very well because, these people have hundreds of billions of dollars, and you throw them together, there's trillions and trillions of dollars. So to think that these people don't have small armies that's infiltrated these cities that are promoting a bad direction inside this colony or whatever the heck it is that's going on in Seattle, I'm all for it. Like I said in my last video, I'm all for defunding the police and that. But they have to have something else to do, which that was discussed in the last video as well. But what I wanted to get into a little more deeply is how in my last video I was describing how these police forces, they're just like these private military forces that are inside these little sects, inside these little colonies and stuff, that they're foreign. They're not of this world. They're made up. They're fabrications of the intellect, of a fiction, and we all know the first. And I don't care if you're religious. I'm not religious. I don't buy into religion or anything. But what is it? The first sin is don't take up false idols. Don't worship graven images or nah. Like I said, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm just pretty sure that that's number one. You don't do. And that is exactly what has created the problems that we're all going through. We've all used our tax money to support these graven images, these false idols, these intellectual thoughts. And, we're worshiping things that aren't true. And, of course we make them true, but that doesn't make it, we make them play out in reality. That doesn't mean that they are true. You can, just because you repeat a lie doesn't make it the truth. That's a pretty profound statement, really. And that's what we're seeing being manifest, is everybody playing into these games, and we're creating this chaos, and we funded it. Not only have we supported it, we funded it. We wanted this to happen. So the controllers of this world, that they shouldn't be in control, for one, because we are following their setups, their imagination. We want them to believe this. We want them to believe the dollar is a dollar. And like I was saying in my last video, if you get into that Chicago style, manual style, 16th edition, is that you look at the dollar bill, technically on there, it does not say that is worth anything. It doesn't say, it says $1 on it, but it's in a subliminal text. It's in a gloss. It's in a language that we don't understand. It's not an American English language. I guess it's American Sign Language, but symbolism is how it is spelled. So, you just start getting into opening cans of worms on this stuff, but what we really need to get back to is true reality, and that true reality is right here and right now, and it's not diving into the intellectual thoughts and making them manifest. That's not reality. That's our false reality. Like, there was also this thing in his video that some graffiti artist or someone was painting pentagrams, satanic stuff, and on this mural that this someone painted, said Satan doesn't worship, or I don't worship Satan, Satan worships me. Which, okay, now if we're getting into the intellectual thoughts to where your name is an intellectual thought, these, I kind of had a little revelation thinking about it laying in bed this morning and in a little meditative state, and I wanted to analyze it a little bit. I wanted to get into my satanic mind and try to bring a balance to what is going on. Is that this person that painted that is worshiping his person. The name, in the world of illusions, he's, as long as it benefits his name, he don't care about the reality of it. He also said, that's what Satanism is the worship of the self. And then you got to ask yourself, what self is he talking about? Is he talking about the self? Because I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing to really worship, because in the end, you are the creator. You are God. In that sense, you create your own life. And if you can create your own life, you should be creating it through reality and not through this manufactured world, this structured false reality of living through your name. Slipknot has a line that says, I exist through my name. That isn't true. We exist through reality and our actions. And that's what I was getting to, is that we've created all this through our actions, but ultimately what we have created, we can uncreate. We created that false world of your all capital letters name, and you can uncreate that. You can buy a peaceful boycott. We can end a lot of this, but now there's all this talk about RoboCop and the symbolism inside their world, inside that lie. It's all there. But what we need to do is start figuring out a way to dismantle that, to tear it apart, break it down, and inside of ourselves on an individual level. It has to be done. It can't be done in a group think tank, type of way. It's got to be done on an individual level. Billions of individuals around the world have to discover who they are, their true selves, the energy that operates the body. And the body, we need to pull the body out of living through this fabricated world that these banking cartels, governments, religions have made us believe who we are. And that's another thing there, that you shouldn't be believing in anything. That's ultimately another fabricated world. That's an intellectual world. And I listen to Raymond Karczewski's channel a lot, and he's real big on this. And it took me so long to understand what he was saying. And all the problems in this world have come from thought, have come from thoughts that aren't true, have come from fabricated thoughts. Think about it: racism, wars, anything that causes division or splits in your psychology, in your own psyche, are problems. You're not whole. You're not holy anymore. You're not holistic. You're fragmented, broken, confused. Anything that's there to confuse you. And until you can make up your mind to say, you know what, I am the God of my life, and I'm going to start living as God would, which is, the ultimate golden rule: don't tell a lie and cause no harm. Do unto others. I don't like to be lied to. And I know that is a huge step to make for a lot of people, because we're so deep. We don't even understand how deep we're into this lie, and how many lies we've set up just to keep the lie going for ourselves. And this comes into a death and a rebirth. You have to completely demolish that capital letters name, that fabricated world that you set up. And it takes so much courage to break away from that. And I had a long story, but it's history. It's in the past. It's another one of them things that you can't go back and change it. You have to start anew. You're reborn. You can die and be reborn several times in this lifetime. It's reincarnation. This is my idea of the reality of reincarnation, is that you have several lives inside of this life. I used to work the pipeline. I don't do that. That line has died for me. I'm on a new now. So we're constantly dying and being reborn. Anyways, I didn't have, I'll start getting better at this, maybe eventually get a little more organized, get a plot or something wrote down for you to follow, but I just like to shoot from the hip. I get ideas in my mind and would really just like to have an open discussion with people that are trying to find balance. And they're maybe eventually trolls or haters down there in the bottom, and they're going to be easy to spot, because they're the ones that's going to start attacking the character. They're the ones that's going to start diving into the intellectual ways of being, the fabricated legal system, which is all satanic. It's satanic. It's a structure set up by man. And we all know from Revelations the number of a man, 666, whatever. It's just intellectual thoughts. These are thoughts that have divided us. And, even countries, right down to saying, I'm an American. I was born on the soil that has come to be termed America. It's really not. It really has no name. And like my channel, the Nameless, that's just it. There really is no name, because that's getting into judgment. You have to judge something. Grass is green. The trees are tall. Trees. Whatever. What it is really what it is. It's like, I am what I am. Thou art that. I am not my name. I am this human being, this sentient, living, breathing, flesh and blood human being, where the government has no jurisdiction over, because it is a fiction. It is a story. It's his story, a fabrication of his story. It's not my story. Of course, there's people brainwashed inside of that structure that make it manifest, but this is what I'm saying, that has to be broke down in a moral way, individually, cohesively, if that makes any sense. And once we find our own individuality inside of it all, it will be cohesively. And the only way that can be understood is if you start dismantling the lies inside your own lives. So, I think I kind of went on long enough at explaining what I was trying to get across. I'm not good at ending these videos, so I'm just going to say goodbye, and kind of just think on what I was saying. I'll be the same. Have a nice day.